Terence Kelly is off to jail.
Now that we've finally put the Cleo Smith abduction completely to bed, we can work on cracking the next mystery. Why nobody in Carnarvon told the police looking for her it might be an idea to check on the freak with the doll collection. It's not like he was trying to hide it. He had a half a dozen Facebook pages documenting the weirdness. Nobody at the local toy world thought it was odd that a bloke in his 30s with no kids was stocking up on Cabbage Patch dolls.
At least we don't have to think about him now for a very long time.
He was given 13 years and 6 months, so you'd think 2036, but the sentence is backdated to when he was arrested on November 3, 2021, and he'll be eligible for parole after 11 years and 6 months, so he could be out in May 2033.
What are the chances of him getting parole?
So. He'll have to complete some rehab programs. That's the easy bit. The difficult part will be convincing the parole board that he isn't a risk to the community, because this guy is self-evidently next level crazy bad. He has Cleo Smith in his house for 18 days, during which time he dyes her hair, apparently to make her look like one of his dolls, like what the is that about? He does some DIY on the door to her room so he can lock it from the outside, and he turns the radio up in his bathroom so neighbours can't hear her screaming. She hears herself being talked about on news bulletins and says to him they're saying my name, and he just goes about his day-to-day business. Attends interviews he needs to keep, getting the doll, shopping and visiting relatives, in between roughing Cleo up when she got too bossy and asked for some chocolate. 100% full metal psycho.
What's happened to Kelly since the sentencing?
After the judge handed down her sentence, he would have been taken back to Casuarina. He would have been driven there in a prisoner transport truck under the control of the Special Operations Group. That's one of them there. The Soggies, as they're called, are best known for riot control, but they also handled prisoner transport for high-profile or dangerous convicts. Kelly will go straight back to his cell without interruption because he's already been stripped of all his possessions. That happened when he was arrested, and whatever he had on him then will sit in a clear plastic bag in a prison storage area until he collects them. That'll be somewhere between 2033 and 2036, depending on whether he gets parole. If he's in the protective handling unit, and I reckon he will be, he'll be locked in his cell for most of the day. The PHU is different to the SHU, the SHU, but still pretty oppressive. He'll have very little contact with other prisoners because inmates don't take nicely to men who snatch kids.
A lonely existence.
He can phone a maximum of 10 people. He would have given 10 telephone numbers to a prison guard when he first went in. The guard would have rung each number and asked whether the person was prepared to accept calls from Terence. Every call he makes will be taped, and each has a connection fee of 35 cents, and then it's 5 cents per minute after that. He can dial his lawyer for free, and there's no charge for calls to government agencies like the Ombudsman, Child Support and the ATO. The most he can have in his phone account at any one time, though, is $100.
How's he going to make his money?
If Terence has any friends or family who want anything to do with him anymore, they may choose to send him some cash. The most they can put in his prisoner's private cash account is $200 a week. If he's allowed into the general population, he might get a job. Cabinet workshop, cleaning, construction, gardening, maintenance. The most popular jobs, though, are in the kitchen. Different jobs are different wages, but the max you can earn in a week is about $70 or $80. He can spend that money at the canteen. What's on sale varies from jail to jail, but there are snacks, toiletries, stationery, things like that. It's been a while since I checked these prices, but a packet of Tim Tams for Terence is going to be about $3. Tin of tuna $1.60 something. A packet of crackers about $1.30. Deck of Uno cards is $5. Biro and writing paper about $1.75, and if he's feeling artistic, a sketch pad is a bit over $4, and a set of watercolours will set him back $30. If Terence smokes, he's going to have to work all week for one packet of White Ox, the worst tobacco on earth, but also the cheapest. That's about $65 or 95% of his maximum weekly wage.
What about rehab?
The court heard Terence was high on meth when he stole Cleo. Hopefully he will have dried out during his time in protective custody, and hopefully he won't start using again if and when he's out in the yard with everyone else. Kelly didn't have the option of packing his ass full of contraband because he was arrested very suddenly in the middle of the night and has been in custody ever since. So he's going to have to either buy meth on the inside or rely on one of his visitors to smuggle some in for him.
I reckon Trump should watch this episode.
Prison tips for the Donald. Trump repeatedly and fraudulently falsified New York business records to conceal criminal conduct that hid damaging information from the voting public during the 2016 presidential election. That's according to Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who I hope will be played by Paul Giamatti when this thing is inevitably turned into a movie.
I can do what I want, when I want, how I want.
34 counts makes it sound like a Watergate-level conspiracy until you read past the headline. Trump's accused of paying porn star Stormy Daniels $130,000 to stay quiet about their affair. That's not the crime though. Nothing illegal about paying hush money. Businesses do it all the time through non-disclosure agreements.
Sign this NDA.
Trump will be found to have broken the law if, as the DA alleges, he itemised the payment in business records as legal expenses. Bragg says Trump did this 34 times in invoices, cheques and ledger entries. So 3 dozen counts, but they all relate to just the one offence.
It's still pretty bad.
Not in the eyes of New York law. Falsifying business records like that is considered a misdemeanour in the Big Apple. You'll be treated like someone who parked in a disabled bay. It becomes a felony, a proper crime for you and me, if you falsified the documents with an intent to commit another crime or to aid or conceal the commission thereof. So the big question is...
What's the other crime?
Sounds like Bragg is going to make the case that the 130 grand constituted a campaign donation and was a violation of campaign finance laws.
The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it.
I'm Ben Harvey. For more Up Late, click the subscribe button below.